Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface, and last night saw the final two parts of Crisis on Infinite Earths from the C-Dub. Parts 4 and 5 rounded off the special event. Now I'm going to do a Doctor Who Spyfall here, in as much as I'm going to watch part 4, and then I'm going to critique part 4, then I'm going to watch part 5, then I'm going to critique part 5. Really, in the interest of fairness, because I don't want one episode to affect what I could say about another episode. So, with that said, let's just jump straight in to episode 4. So, part 4 of Crisis begins on the Monitor's home world in the city that he lives. Can I just say, this looks alright. You know, the CG looks fine. It looks like an interesting futuristic cityscape before we go into the, you know, regular sort of things. But I was a bit confused by this because didn't they say in the last episode that the antimatter ribbon had destroyed all of time's and space? So the reason why they couldn't go back in time to fix stuff was because it was happening across all time. Whatever. I don't know. I don't care anymore. So this goes to the Monitor, and he's just about to do his first ever leap through time with his waifu. He puts on this costume, which he's told will protect him from the radiation. Look, I'm no radiation expert, but if you're going to be protected from radiation, you've got to be top to toe completely covered with no... He's got his arms showing. He's got his head showing. I'm pretty sure he would... Never mind. It's got to the point with the CW, it's just like, fuck it. Fuck it all, you know? We don't care about the rules, so why should you? Okay. Let's just go along for the ride then, shall we? Let's not think, let's just consume. So he goes going back in time, and he actually breaks the dimensional barrier and arrives in the antimatter universe where he meets up with his boyfriend, the Anti-Monitor. Da-da-da, 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 da. Oh no, it's Batwoman's. So the part 4 then continues very crisis-y, in as much as the first 3 episodes were horrible, and it starts off very theatrical. The paragon of Don't Give a Toss is writing a diary. All the paragons are stuck at vanishing point. He's introducing them one by one because it's been a month since the last episode. So a lot's been forgotten. Everybody's doing very theatrical stuff, you know. Look, she's been holding on to this cape for months. Drop it, woman. Put it down. Anyway, never mind. And I've been stranded here apparently for months. And Frappuccino Luther, who is... Never mind. Just don't think about things. Just consume. That's all it wants you to do. Don't think, consume. Frappuccino Luther and Oswit Chow are attempting to build something. I'm already not turned on, switched on. I'm definitely not turned on. Switched on because it's kind of like CW and Crisis. So I'm sort of just letting it wash over me while I was eating my dinner. It was nice. I needed calories after the... Never mind. So Barry has apparently jumped into the Speed Force and he's been gone for months. This looks like a crazy golf club and course. So there's the clubhouse. You go here to pick up your clubs and your ball. There's the first crazy golf hole. There's the second. There's the third. There's the fourth. That one's a tricky one. Fifth's over. Anyway, Barry's been gone, and then they sort of, I don't know, talk, and I'm not paying attention. And then Barry comes smashing back through the barrier, through the Speed Force, and he's like, wait a minute, I was just gone a moment ago. And they're like, Barry, you've been gone. Barry! Barry! You've been gone for months, love. You've been gone for months. And he's like, whatever. And so he's like, I've got to go back. And they're just like, no, you're a man. You're weak and feeble. Us women will kick the crap out of you if you attempt to go back. Just chill. Then we get some flashbacks of Oliver, because this is, I think, the Arrow TV show. Get some flashbacks of Oliver going through all his major villains throughout the series. And then we have, oh, you can't see, I'm going to, no. We have, oh, God, Oliver in his Spectre outfit. I just want to put that clip from The Godfather. Look at him massacred my boy. It's just so weird seeing... I do really like Stephen Amell. I think he's been awesome as Arrow. But just to see Arrow from season 1 to trench coat emo Spectre Oliver, I should say. Look how they massacred my boy. So anyway, he's speaking to Jim Corrigan. He's just like, oh, you're Spectre now. And he's like, all right, I need something to do, I guess. And he appears to the other Paragons as just like, the Speed Force is the key. We can use the Speed Force to do things. And everyone's like, okay. And so they do things. There's, oh, no. No. So anyway, they all get zapped somewhere in various parts of time. Or space, or who cares? It's the CW. And Frappuccino Luther is he's just awful. Like, awful. Just, there's nothing to him as a character. He's just, I'm a baddie. I'm going to do baddie stuff. No complexity, no depth, nothing. But there again, it's the CW. Stop thinking, just consume. So they arrive on some alien planet. Barry's, he goes back in to an area where he meets Oliver for the first time. And then Oliver's just like, I'm here, but I'm actually the Spectre and I'm in the Speed Force. You need to find me, Barry. Find me, Barry. Find me. Find me, Barry. Find me. So Barry's like, do you know what I'm going to do? Gonna find you. I thought that was a wise move. So... we are currently 15 minutes into Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 4, and I'm not feeling a damn thing. I couldn't care about what's going on. It just feels like all the other episodes of Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I'm just sort of zoned out, not bothered. Then the show completely turns around. Look, if I'm going to critique stuff, if it's bad, God knows, you know I will tear at another arsehole, because it deserves it. But when suddenly it gets good, you've got to do the same. You have to do the same. And this episode, I'm not saying it's perfect by any stretch, but this episode completely turned around at this point. And the first thing it did to turn around is Barry meets up with somebody at his base. Who does Barry meet up with? He meets up with Ezra Miller's Flash. And I was just like, whoa. Didn't know he was going to be in the show. I don't go on IMDb and have a look what Ezra Miller's up to nowadays. And I don't, this is going to come as a massive shocker to all of you. I don't Google Crisis on Infinite Earths in my spare time for shits and giggles. And so this was a complete shock for me. There's the old Flash costume. Barry's in his new one, and he meets up with Barry. And it's sort of like, who are you? And he's like, I'm the Flash. Who are you? Well, I'm the Flash. And then they sort of look at each other's outfits, and they're like, what? This is weird. And then Ezra Miller's just like, your outfit looks really comfortable. because he's basically in a onesie. I like it. I know a lot of people don't. I like it. And they have a little bit of goofy humour, and I rather liked it. And then they said, oh, I'm Barry Allen, and they said at the same time, and they're both like, whoa, how can you be Barry? But I thought all the other Earths had been destroyed with the ribbon, and but they're in the Speed Force, because he's in the Speed Force at the time, so he's not affected by the ribbon. So there's this nice little exchange. It was really cool to see Ezra Miller, a proper filmy starry, in a CW show. Fucking hell. So I was taken aback. So the show got my interest a little bit more. And then it wasn't just that which made the show. It just started to get better as a whole. Apart from Frappuccino Luther, who was just awful. And the Supergirl bit was just awful. Oh, by the way, Frappuccino Luther just went, oh, by the way, I gave myself powersies as wellsies. Because the plot needed him to. But the thing that was fun was Barry and the Paragons actually going through different points in time. We get, this is Oliver here. And this is Batwoman. Thankfully, she was barely in the show, which is really good. Batwoman, she turned up to the part where Barry and Ray Palmer are having the discussion about Felicity, and Ray's just like, "I know who you are. You're a nerdy boy. You're a nerdy boy." And then they have that, so it's an interesting one. And then when Oliver turns around, he actually sees Batwoman, and she doesn't think that she can be seen because... And he's just like, who are you? And she's like, oh, I've been wumbled. Then we get this bit, which I really enjoyed. Why did I really enjoy this? Because Supergirl is back in her Supergirl costume. Right? So this might tick a few people off. Fuck it, I don't care. Do you know something? I like strong women. I think it's very attractive to have a strong, intelligent woman. To me, there's nothing more attractive than that. So when you see, an attractive woman looking feminine while being strong and intelligent at the same time, it's good stuff. Instead of putting her in basically Superman's outfit and saying, "We're just the samesies." You're not. You're cosplaying a man to try and be equal. Don't. You're different. Men and women are different. So I personally prefer this outfit. I think it's much better. So they're chatting away, and then Martian Manhunter turns up with them. He's just like, what are you doing here, Martian Manhunter? Because, of course, to Supergirl, she's on a completely different universe, because her world's different than Oliver's world. Boobies. And what? That wasn't me. So the alien world, Frappuccino Luther, they have a bit of a pep talk. Oh gosh, she's just gorgeous. I love her. Moving on. Oh, all those things. Then we get a little bit of Superman. Supercuck. Barry turns up to the Supercucks fighting. Where Oliver turns up, and then he's just like, "Oh, Oliver, this is all very weird, but you're not actually here." And then Oliver just turns around and says, "Yeah, I know, this is the Speed Force." And he's like, "What? How did you know you're in the Speed Force?" And he's like, "Because I made a deal. And the deal was Kara and you were going to die in the upcoming crisis, and I traded. I said, if you two can survive, I will die. I know what's going on, Barry. Take me away." And it's quite touching. And it's rather nice because Stephen Amell is awesome. Then we get this awesome bit again. This is good stuff. We get Katie Lotz has just died as Black Canary from Arrow. And then we've got... isn't she called Katie in real life? But we've got what should be Dina Lance, but it's not Dina Lance. But whatever. It should be Dina Lance. And, big boy. And then, again, Barry turns up, and they're just like, What are you doing here? Has he turned up yet? I don't know. There's Frappuccino Luther's just like, hey, I'm going to give you some powers. So, yeah, Barry turns up, and they're just like, whoa, who are you? And he's just like, oh, I know this is really awkward because your sister's just died. but I'm going to have to do something because you're not actually really here, but she is, and I'm going to have to bring her back. So he just, like, touches her to make her aware of the Speed Force or whatever it may be that does it and jolts her back to life. And it's really good, and they're just like, what the it's a miracle! And so they're kind of doing the explanations to the people trapped in the Speed Force or people in the Speed Force to make them realise even... Oh my god, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Even Batwoman here is bearable. She actually says something which is like, oh. Because when Oliver says, who are you, what are you doing here? And she's just like, oh, I realise that there's a big thing about not trusting people and all this kind of stuff. And maybe I've been kind of falling into the same trap and I need to change a few things. And I was just like, what the fuck? Because I was like, oh, if you could take that growth into your show and the writers could take that growth into your show. And then I thought to myself, nah, of course they won't. Of course they fucking won't. So Supergirl turns up. It's just like, don't believe what Frappuccino Luther says. He'll give you a latte and call it a cappuccino. And they said, come with me and I'm going to fight him. And then they all get transported to the beginning of time at the antimatter universe. I think I was actually in shock that I'd gone 15, nearly 20 minutes enjoying the show. Like, actually enjoying it. Time was going past quickly because this was enjoyable. So they all turn up, and then the Anti-Monitor's just like, I'm a bad guy, I'm going to summon a bunch of Spectres. And then Oliver turns up as the Spectre. Irony, maybe? Not sure. And he's just like, right, folks, it's time for everyone to believe in yourselves, heart the cards, Pikachu, I choose you. Go do your thing, and I'm going to do my thing. So they're like, right, let's fight. Then we get a really nice sweeping shot, which is actually, it was genuinely nice. Actually, I'm going to play it. That's a nice shot. That's a good shot. And so Oliver then engages the Anti-Monitor in battle and beats him. And everyone says, focusy, focus, heart the cards. And when he defeats the Anti-Monitor, he rebirths the multiverse and dies again. So he died in part 1. They brought him back as the Spectre. Then he dies again in part 4 as the universe is rebirthed. This was done perfectly again. Why? Because they got rid of all the fucking soy. Yeah? They got rid of Frappuccino Luther, and they got rid of Supergirl because she wasn't relevant to this at all, and the Martian Manhunter plays no part, and they just got people who were important to Oliver. And that was Barry, and that is Katie Lotz's White Canary, Black Canary, Sarah Lance. All of them very relevant to Oliver. And they just say their goodbyes, and Oliver's just like, living on is the hard thing. I've made peace with my sacrifice. This is okay. And it's a really nice little send-off. Why? I don't want to see who wrote this episode, right? Because if the person who wrote this episode is the same person that, let's say, wrote previous episodes of Crisis, then my question is, why? How can you actually do something half decent and a bunch of shite? Or, if it's the same person that's written a load of shite for the last few years, how can you write all that shit and then do something actually decent? Do you know when you just do normal writing? And you forget about identity politics and who can beat who and whose vag is better than whose dick. And you just do people interacting with each other. The shows become a whole lot more fun. They really do. Fucking hell. And that is where the episode ends. And I have not watched part 5. So part 4 after the first 15 minutes, was very enjoyable. I know. I'm just as scared as you are. Now let's watch part 5. Right. Okay. Look. This part 5 is really, really frustrating. Because there is some legitimately good stuff in here. And then there's CW shit. Which is the reason why their shows are losing millions of viewers every year. Because they can't help themselves. It's like a kid with no control. Well, not a kid. A horrible person with no control. Okay, so it starts off with the birth of the new multiverse, okay? And we have a very fun opening scene. Kara wakes up in an apartment. Her sister's there. She nearly blows her up with a heat vision. It's funny. It's not silly. It's actually quite funny. And then she's like, whoa, what's going on? What's going on? Alex is just like, you fell asleep watching TV. I didn't want to wake you up. And because Kara is a paragon, she remembers everything that's happened. Whereas the rebirth of the multiverse, the other people don't know anything that's going on. So it leads for an interesting opening exchange. Alex even decides to have relatively normal hair. Don't worry, when she goes to the DO, she turns it into lesbian haircut 362. So we have this nice little exchange just between surrogate sisters. She says the last thing that you were doing was fighting a white Martian. This is a bit silly. Right, I don't watch Supergirl, so I don't know who this is. This person. Okay, no idea. But she's like, we're just about to give out the Nobel Peace Prize. Where are you? She just zooms into the room. Everybody can see somebody just... Never mind, whatever. Don't think about it, just consume. We're at that stage. So it's really frustrating that they do stupid stuff like that. Why couldn't she just zoom to the door and then walk in? But now we've got to get straight to the shot. Anyway, the person collecting the Nobel Peace Prize is Frappuccino Luther, who is actually a good guy. Now, the last thing that Frappuccino Luther, or good guy, you know what I mean. But the last thing that Frappuccino Luther said in part 4 was, oh, so this is what being a hero feels like. So you're just like, ooh, is Frappuccino Luther going to turn over a new leaf? Well, potentially in this universe, he has, but he did wink at Supergirl, so who knows? He is a paragon because he wrote his name in Sharpie in whatever. Don't think, just consume. So he will recall everything. Okay, let's kind of move on. I never want to see him as Lex Luthor again, though. He's dreadful. So they go to the DEO, and it's actually Lex Luthor that now runs the DEO. Do you see where the conflict's going to come in now? Okay. And Alex has gone back to... yes. Did you know that I used to be... Okay. So we get a little bit of chit-chat. We hear that there's... instead of weather wizard, there's now weather witch. Because, you know, whaman! There's lots of whaman in this episode. Because the CW can't help themselves, sadly. And so she turns up to take care of it. But then Flash turns up. And she's just like, whoa, Flash, what are you doing here? This isn't your world. And he's like, yeah, this is my world. And then they realise that some of the worlds have merged in the new multiverse, including Kara's and Flash's universe. So that's one of the worlds that have merged. Then we get a really cool little cameo by the wonderful and great... can I just go back slightly? Come on, come in. Marv Wolfman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Marv Wolfman. He's a fucking legend. This is the guy that co-created Teen Titans. This is the guy who did Crisis on Infinite Earths in the 1980s. Marv, I love you. You're an absolute ledge. So he turns up for a little cameo saying, oh, can you sign my photograph? It's really cute. It's a nice nod. Thank you for having some respect for people. They're in the tunnels. They find Nash Wells. Star City. Looks incredibly like New York. Star City. And then we have Katie Lotz there. She's kind of like, whoa, 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 what's going on? And Ray Palmer's just like, you told me to teleport here. And then Martian Mindhunter comes. He's another Paragon, so he remembers everything. And he, through telepathy, okay, we'll go with it, fine. He allows people that don't know what's happened to see everything that's happened. Okay, fine. That's fine. Catches people up, whatever. We then have little montages of what's going on. And she's just like, well, if we've all survived, then Oliver might have survived. She goes to Oliver's base. His costume's not there. Everyone's crying. No, he's dead. Okay, so that's fine, and it's actually nice, and it's really nice that it's White Canary that's doing this. And you might say, but shouldn't it be Barry? No, it should be White Canary because this is Sarah Lance, and Sarah Lance got together with Oliver Queen on the the Queen's Gambit before anything, when they were just Oliver and Sarah, and so this is the right person for this job. And Katie Lotz plays it very well. She plays this whole loss of connection thing very well indeed. It's some good stuff. Diggle cries like a baby. As though just like, Oliver died twice. He's my brother. I wasn't there for either time that he died. It's quite sad because Diggle's been there from the start. He's a good guy. So they kind of sort of come to terms with some of it, and it's like, this is some good stuff so far. It's just human connection. No identity politics. No identity politics. No women better than mansies. No, oh my god, everybody gazies. None of this fucking shit that the CW can't help themselves with. Just good writing about people. Just annoys the crap out of me when they can do it, but oh no, you gotta play agendas on this fucking channel. So Nash Wells doesn't know what's going on because he's not a Paragon, and then the Martian Manhunter gets all angry, and then through telepathy allows him to see what happened. He's just like, oopsie doopsies, my bad, I guess. And so they decide, what's going on. Some of the worlds seems to have merged. And then this, I don't watch the shows, so I think this might be more funny to some people than myself. But a big cuddly toy is attacking the city. I'm okay with that. It's daft, but I'm okay with it. She calls a couple of, this is where shit just starts getting horrible. She starts calling a couple of Legends of Tomorrow crew. And they're just like, oh my god, have you just been on a crossover event? Oh my god, I love crossover events. Crossover events are crossover. Crossover. Fucking hell! Shut up! Have some fucking respect for your universe. Oh my god. No wonder this turns people off. This isn't anything. Don't get invested in anything, people. It's just a silly TV show. These. So off. Anyway, so this really actually annoys me, right? And it annoys me because you go through this wonderful connection between people to dumb pricks going, oh my god, crossover, then into more comedy, which admittedly was quite funny because it's Dominic Purcell, and he's actually become that romantic novelist, and he's calling himself, going by a fake pen name, he's calling himself Dorothy or something. She's just Rebecca or something, and then she's just like, what shall I call you? And he's just like, Rebecca's fine. It's funny. It's funny. But it... Okay. So, at least that connects to what he was doing in Crisis. So, they try and fight the cuddly toy, and they realise it's not actually there. Batwoman suddenly just makes a judgment out of nothing. And Kara's just like, oh my god, Batwoman's here on our Earth as well. Fuck off. And she's just like, maybe this is a distraction. How would you... there's nothing... whatever. And so, yes, it was a distraction where an absolutely comically stupid villain has manifested it. I have no idea why this was on the show, really. Whatever. So they have a drink, and Dominic Purcell's just like, what is this? And he's just like, alcohol. She's like, all right, fine. Because he'll just drink anything alcoholic. And there's some irrelevant chat. Then we get to another nice moment. Really good writing here. Fucking frustrating until the day is long. Because you've got Katie Lotz and you've got Grant Gustin talking about Barry. And Katie, she's not being selfish. She's being quite logical. She's just like, Oliver was my last connection to anywhere. He's the last person that knew me as Sarah Lance. Not Black Canary, not White Canary, not a time traveler, not a hero, a fighter. He was the last person that knew me as Sarah Lance. Everyone else is dead. And so she feels completely disconnected. It's good writing. Just between two people. Again, I stress, no gender politics, no pushing anything, just good writing between characters. It's amazing when you treat people like people, how much they organically start to come together. But when you just operate off agenda after agenda after agenda, you get all the dumb shit which comes in the show later. The dumb shit, what, by the way, which will lead the CW into the future as they lose more and more viewers. So it's a really nice moment, and then they realise that there's actually still antimatter in the universe, and they are attacked by a Spectre who is defeated by a kick. Why would anyone be scared of these Spectres? Just look, I've got an empty can of sugar-free Red Bull here. Just that would have defeated one of those Spectres. Oh, whatever. So they realised that although Oliver managed to reignite the multiverse, he didn't quite defeat the Anti-Monitor. And so the Anti-Monitor has also appeared in this universe. So they're just like, okay, we gotta get together, folks, and kick its ass. Couple of new uniforms. Got a new Martian Manhunter uniform. It's cool. It's cool. It's kind of, I like it. And then I think sort of Diggle's got some green. I don't know if that was on before because he's in the daylight, and I couldn't see it in the darkness because there's a lot of night shots with Diggle. But he's got green, which is a nice nod to Green Arrow. Superman just turns up out of nowhere. By the way, where is Cisco? Cisco never appears in the episode. Where's Cisco? Okay, nobody knows. Right, great. So they fight a bunch of Spectres. It's easy. Then the Anti-Monitor appears. What is that? That looks like the Seattle Tower. So I don't know America too well. Can somebody tell me where this is in America, please? Or is it... No! This has got to be Toronto, probably. This has got to be Toronto. Is that some sort of Toronto tower? Is that a Sears Tower over... I don't know. Somebody from Canada, the Shire, tell me what's going on here. Tell me where this is. So they start... oh, yeah. And then Black Lightning also turns up just at... wherever this... I can't remember what this place is called. Star Labs. and just says, "Yo, bitch, I'm gonna fuck a bitch up," or something very gruff. Melissa Benoist, oh god, she's beautiful. Now then, right. So they start fighting the Anti-Monitor, and there's a really good moment in this fight. Okay, you're just getting all the standard. They're all throwing what they've got at the Anti-Monitor, you know, shooting the guns, firing the laser beams, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, just generic kind of stuff. And the Anti-Monitor's got a barrier up, and he's fighting away. Then we just get this excellent moment here. I'm just going to put it back. I'm going to play it again. This is one of these things I'm going to play. She's like, bitch, I'm going to fuck you up. And he's looking at her like, yeah, you want to fuck, I'll fuck you up. That is awesome. Ugh! I like Katie lots. I do. But that was a really cool moment. So he blasts them all back and then grows massive. He looks much better when he's huge, ladies. Than he does when he's small. He's now swole. From small to swole, the Anti-Monitor goes. So they fight him, and the plan is we're going to create, well, the people back at Star Labs are doing this, or the Flashes, whatever. We're going to create a grenade that is, in essence, because we can't defeat antimatter, you know, we can change it. We're going to create a grenade that's going to shrink the antimatter and keep shrinking and shrinking. So it's going to be perpetually shrinking. Essentially going into the microverse. Which is, okay, I'll buy that. So they have a fight, and then they get the grenade, and they throw it at him. Supergirl thinks she's going to have to sacrifice herself to save Superman. Obviously. And they get the grenade, and the Atom says, throw it like a girl. Which I laughed quite a bit at, because although that's meant to be empowering, saying, oh my god, this girl can throw these, it was actually just like, she goes like, ah! and so and then she just goes, always, and it's just like, you don't actually know how funny that is. So I did chuckle at that. I don't think it was intentionally meant to be funny. So then we get Miss Madam President thanking all the women and men. You know, you got to get the genders first. Thanking all the women and men, because it's the CW. You got to put all them first. And this is, by the way, before all the women get excited, she's actually called Diane Trump, and she's a Republican. I'm just going to let that one sit with people and let them get mad on their own. And then she talks about, oh my god, the people, the heroes, save the worldies. Apart from Oliver Queen, who's dead. Oh yeah, by the way, Kate's over here because she heard that that her sister was gay. Oh, you got a gay sister. Okay, I'm automatically there because that's how it works in the CW. So yeah, they have the kind of like a eulogy about Oliver was the one who sacrificed himself, saved the lives of all the multiverse, whatever. It was not self-indulgent, but the way that they put the president there doing it, fuck off, who cares? Then we get a voiceover by Stephen Amell talking about the rebirth of the multiverse. Thank you, Stephen. Then we see various universes, the new universes. Oh boy, Earth 2, folks, coming soon to a TV near you on the CW. Stargirl! No. Stargirl coming soon. No, I'm not going to review it. We then get Earth 19 with Swamp Thing, which got cancelled due to tax reasons. We get the Teen Titans again. Oh, sorry, the Titans again, not Teen Titans. I got Marv Wolfman. And one thing I did pop for, which is Superman, Brandon Routh, with the Superman theme, back in the yellow. Got rid of the black. He's got the yellow back, but he's still got the Kingdom Come logo. Got the red pants on. This is Superman. This man is the boss. He's the alpha dog. I want to see a series with him. Tyler Hoechlin, no offense. I do like you. But they have fucked up your Superman so badly that I don't know how anyone could possibly care when you get your show. This guy, in a completely different world, away from all that fluff, give him some good writers, Brandon would be on board. I'm sure Brandon would be on board. Gets killed in Legends of Tomorrow, give him his own show. That's how it should be done. Boom, got him. Never mind. It won't be done. And he winks at the camera. Then we have this, the heroes saying goodbye to Oliver, which is alright. You know, because there's been a lot of goodbye to Oliver, and I understand, because this whole thing started with Stephen Amell and Arrow Season 1. So I know they want to give him a huge, huge send-off. But because he's already died twice in the crossover, and they've mourned him, and they've mourned him again, and now they've had the eulogy from the president, now they're having the eulogy with the heroes, it's beginning to diminish a little bit. You know? It's losing its effect a little bit. And then Barry's just like, hey, this building, nobody knows about this building. Yeah, it's really subtle, Barry. It's not like fucking huge or anything. So we can all meet up here when we have the annual crossover. And then it's just like, oh, look, I did a thing where I've made a table and bought some racer chairs. And then they've got Arrow's chair for... He's dead. He's not turning up. And then we hear, oh, a monkey chattering, and they're like, oh, you need pest control here. And then, hold on, let's go back. It's got Gleek. Are they making a Super Friends show as well? I don't want to Google it. But are they making like a, what they call, is it the Super Twins with Gleek and he's the blue monkey, isn't he? And oh, I dread to think. Oh, man. And so this was so frustrating because there were some really good moments, particularly with Katie Lotz. Some really good moments in this. Just smattered with the shite that the CW can't help but throw at the screen by getting the identity politics in at the end as well. Gotta get that in, you know. Ooh. Sorry, gotta remind people that we aren't normal people, we're freaks. Gotta get that bit in, yeah? We could write like normal people, we could act like normal people. I'm talking about the writers here, not the actors. But we're freaks! So we have to inject identity politics and all that shit in at every given opportunity. Oh, God. For a moment, there were little moments in parts 4 and 5 where I was like, oh, this is what it's like to be just in getting entertained. Oh, so all in all, first 3 parts were god-awful. 4th part was actually very enjoyable after about 15 minutes. And part 5 had some moments with CW shite everywhere else, just smutting around it. So there we go. Thank fuck, it's over. Batwoman's back next week. Oh. I'll see you then for that, yeah? Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links to in the description box down below, and I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.